Hello and welcome to Productivity for Solopreneurs, where each Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time over on Facebook, I share insights to getting things done. Welcome. Today is live number 122, and the topic is 2 common to-do list mistakes and what to do about them. So let me know you're watching by saying hi in the comments. Even if you're here later, say hello. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Evie Burke, and I help women entrepreneurs take their productivity and their business to the next level. So I help them do that by helping them into the distraction and do more of the things that increase their profitability, have more time for those things. So my question for you today is, how effective is your to-do list? So most people have a to-do list in one form or another, and generally there's a couple of mistakes that are being made with to-do lists. So I'm going to talk about two of those things today. And so mistake number one is your to-do list is on whatever piece of paper or notebook was close to you when you had that thing that you needed to get done pop into your head. And so you just made a quick list of what needs to get done. And then generally you can't find that list again. So a side effect of this method of keeping a to-do list is you keep thinking about those things that need to get done. Like you write them down, but it doesn't remove them from your head. It keeps going through your head, and you have this constant stream of things you need to do happening in your head. And the reason this happens, even though you've written it down somewhere, is your brain is super duper smart. It really, really is. And it knows that when you are at your desk or wherever it is that you need to be to get some of those items taken care of, your brain knows that you're not going to be able to, or probably not going to be able to find that piece of paper or that notebook when you are ready to actually do that work. So because your brain doesn't trust that wherever you've written it down is a place that will make sure it will actually get done, it keeps staying in your head. You keep having, again, that constant stream of, these are the things I need to do. So what you need to do instead is have one place to keep your to-do list. And this is not, we're not creating like a whole planning system or tracking system for all the things that you need to get done. We're just making this one small tweak to the things you're already doing so that you start to get that foundation, you start to get some of those habits created, that then your whole big system that works really well can build on. Okay, so what you want to do, whether it's virtual or digitally or on paper, just a little notebook like this, you want to start writing things down. And I would recommend you start with a notebook, just so that you have like that physical, I wrote it down feeling. And then once you get the hang of that, then you can think about, okay, how is that working for me? Do I need to move digital? I share to start with paper just because I was a technology person, right? I was a computer programmer, and I thought, okay, I love technology. Technology's great. I'm going to keep all of my to-do lists in an app on my phone and on my computer, right? One that syncs. And that just, it didn't work for me. I needed to start with writing things down. So start with writing things down, all right? And then play with it. So then mistake number two that I see people making is your to-do list is all in one spot. So this is like, once you have mistake one taken care of, then this is the next problem you'll have. But it's a good problem to have because it means that you have everything in one spot, which is super helpful. So anyway, the mistake is you have your to-do list in one place, but it's that list of everything that needs to get done, just all in one spot. No delineation for priority or what needs to get done this week versus what you can work on next week or next month. It's just all written in one spot. And what you want to do instead is still have that list of everything that needs to get done, but maybe create a list of only what needs to be completed today or this week. The other things can be done in other weeks. One of the things that I used to do, so I had this notebook where the pages, this is my old to-do list thing actually, where the pages can easily pop in and out of it. And so I would have different sections where one section would just be my projects and my lists of like everything that needed to get done. And then I would have another section that would just be for the week and today, right? So start with what works for you though. So start with, just planning out the week. That was one of the things that I started with when I was creating the system that worked for me several years ago, is I just started with, this is the list of things that need to get done this week. And once I developed that habit and was having some frustrations with it, then I could move on to the daily, but I didn't have that weekly habit developed where I could move directly into the daily. Okay, so you want to do it at least once a week, because then you won't have to decide moment to moment what your priorities are or what you need to be working on based on all of the things that you want to complete in your business, right? You can just decide, sit down once a week, decide, okay, these are the things that are my priorities. Ideally, they're tied in with your goals for the month or the year or the quarter or whatever. But if you don't have those defined really solidly right now, then just start with what can I do this week, okay? Now, you might be wondering why I'm not suggesting that you start with creating like that big overall system for planning and goal setting and all of that in your business right now. You might be saying, Evie, you help people with their productivity. Why aren't you telling me how to set up this big system? And in response to that, I have a question for you. And that is, have you ever tried to do that in the past? And I'm guessing you probably have. Most people have at one time or another tried to like revamp the system and, complete something totally new. And second question is, how did that go for you? So with most people, it doesn't go super well, right? Because they stick to it maybe really, really well for maybe a week or two, maybe even a month. And then something happens, right? Whether they get really busy or there's a bump in the road. And so they haven't developed the habits around the big huge system that they've created, so they stop using it so that they can deal with this thing that's just popped up, whether it's a business thing or a personal thing, whatever it is. And then when they go to use the system again to get everything up and running again, it just is a lot of work. And so then they go back and they just stick with the things that kind of worked before, because the energy to get everything up and running the way it had been just seems insurmountable. Where if you start with just small tweaks that make the system a little bit better, then when life happens, it's not like you have to recreate the whole system again. It's just you have to start doing that habit again, because you haven't backslid so far that you have so much to do. You've maybe backslid a little bit, and it's just about spending a little bit of extra time to get back to where you were. So start with, the small tweaks that you can make right now that will make a big difference for you. And then once that habit is in place, then you start to create that foundation that will create that bigger system for you that's easier to maintain, because you've put those habits in place. So if you know that there's probably just a couple of small tweaks that you can make that will really make a big difference in your business or in your productivity, but you're not sure what they are, because when we're in our businesses, it can be so hard to take that step back and see that, oh, I need to adjust this here. If you want that second set of eyes, reach out, let's connect. And I am more than happy to have a complimentary session with you where you'll walk away with, what are a couple of small tweaks that you can do that will make that big difference in your business and in your productivity. So if that's something that you're interested in, comment, let me know, or head over and fill out the contact me form on my website. That'll be in the description. So you can find both of those here on the YouTubes. And until next week, much love.